That is not what they're doing. They're insulting people personally. They're being mean. They're being really vindictive. They're not sticking to the issues. And if they were sticking to the issues and saying what you think they mean to say, we'd be in a much different race. But they can't control themselves, and they just need to be mean and vindictive. And that's not winning them the independent voters.
Well, I definitely don't need a history lesson on Oprah, who's Black history, because I'm very familiar with all that she has done. But when
That's Republican consultant Whitley Yates shutting down a smug Democrat strategist on NBC by using her own race-obsessed woke ideology against her. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and it looks like establishment media is still attempting to salvage that cringeworthy softball interview Harris did with Oprah. I mean, not only did Harris deliver her usual word-salad responses, but she frequently dodged questions, made bizarre statements she later tried to soften, like her comments on owning a gun, and repeatedly needed Oprah to step in to assist her.
So Oprah is one of the only people who has been able to have an audience of 20 million people for over many, many years. So I mean, she is a professional here, and she does have an audience, and she knows how to coordinate or how to appeal to wide audiences. The second thing is I'm really tired of all of the surrogates and Donald Trump and the JD Vance all saying this. That's not what the candidates are saying. That is not what they're doing. They're insulting people personally. They're being mean. They're being really vindictive. They're not sticking to the issues. And if they were sticking to the issues and saying what you think they mean to say, we'd be in a much different race. But they can't control themselves, and they just need to be mean and vindictive. And that's not winning them the independent voters.
Well, I definitely don't need a history lesson on Oprah, who's Black history, because I'm very familiar with all that she has done. But what I'm saying is, when you're talking to people specifically in a state where the average salary is $49,000, bringing a billionaire up on stage is going to present out of touch, specifically for working class Americans. And let me explain why. It's because the issues that they're talking about does not impact her the same, as opposed to having working class people maybe engaging with her, maybe a town hall forum. She has been utilizing celebrities to promote her campaign, as opposed to utilizing working class people or utilizing them to speak to working class people. And there is a disconnect.
You know, you've got to love how liberals are acting like their vitriol towards Trump is based on something unique he's doing this campaign. And if he just wouldn't do that one thing, it would all be different. Bill Maher likes to do this with his whole Trump didn't concede thing. But we all know that's a lie. Nothing would be different. They do this every election. They're just slightly more open and aggressive about it now. I mean, remember that brief period before Trump announced he was running again and everyone thought DeSantis was gonna be the guy? The media was already starting to go in on him and talk about how he's a scary, unique threat, possibly worse than Trump because of all the laws he passed in Florida. Which only goes to show you that this is a politically motivated fear tactic they do every election.
Whitley, why does Donald Trump lie like that? I mean, everybody knows, come on.
I think that there were times during that interview where it looked like Oprah was trying to figure out where VP Harris was going. And I think when we're looking at this circumspectly, when we're talking about battleground states and talking to working everyday Americans, utilizing a billionaire who's not dealing with the cost of inflation, with stagnant wages, with stagnant industries is really just out of touch. And I think that's what he really meant to say, is that hiding behind Hollywood as opposed to really just talking about the policies of your administration may not be working specifically in battleground states.
That is literally rich, Whitley.
Thank you. I mean, it's wealthy. It's wealthy. It's wealthy. It's wealthy.
A rich man. Come on. I don't know. I mean, did you watch the town? I mean, it was a town hall. It was a town hall style forum, and Oprah Winfrey is. I mean, she's not a talk show host now or a journalist now, but it was like watching Oprah from the 90s and the 80s.
And also the polls are closing. So clearly she's doing something right, because she's meeting people where they are, because she is now leading in the polls, and she's closing on issues that were Donald Trump's, like the economy and immigration. So something is working.
But polls are a snapshot in time, and we all know that, right? She was just down in the polls, specifically losing with African-American men, and this doesn't necessarily help her. When you see her utilizing celebrities in this way, when they want policies, they don't want the performance of Hollywood within their political spheres.
I mean, again, if you watched the town hall forum, you heard her talk about policy.
Yeah, the key word in that is style. It was a town hall style forum, which is apparently good enough for liberals, since all they seem to care about are appearances and the illusion of something without the substance. But Whitley was absolutely correct there about them being out of touch. That annoying guy seems to think that because it felt like the 80s or 90s Oprah, that means it was successful or something important. But this isn't the 80s or 90s anymore. Culture is atomized now, and we're more and more aware of the ruling class and elites, which means that Oprah isn't nearly as relevant as she used to be. But let me know what you think. How did you feel about the Harris interview? Will it carry any weight with independent voters? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye!